So who doesn't love leopard geckos? They are one of the most popular pet lizards out there, and here at the Pomona Reptile Super Show here in Pomona, California, you are going to see some leopard gecko morphs unlike anything that you've ever seen before. So in this bonus video, I'm going to go in, I'm going to tour the Pomona Reptile Super Show, I'm going to introduce you guys to some of the biggest leopard gecko breeders out there and some of the leopard gecko breeders that are up and coming, and show you some of the most incredible leopard geckos you guys have ever seen. I'm Dave Kaufman, and these are my Reptile Adventures. All right, so I'm here at Tucson's finest Leos with Thomas over here. So Thomas, this is your very first Pomona Reptile Super Show that you've ever done, but you're going to show us 3 of the coolest leopard geckos that you've produced, starting with this one.
So this girl right here comes from the atomic, the electric, and the clown lineages right here. These are some of the most OG lines out there. Matt Baranek of Saddleback Reptiles works with these very heavily, and he was one of my biggest idols growing up, starting with the leopard geckos. And you know, that's why the clowns are my, logo for my business, you know what I mean? Is because that's what it's kind of built around. These guys is where my first passion was, with the leopard geckos, with the crazy greens, the reds, and the contrast that you get out of the patterns, you know what I mean? They don't all share the same phenotype, and that's what I love about them, is because they're like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get, right?
100%. Wow, all right, so what are the genetics of this?
So this girl right here is 50% clown lineage, which clown is a polygenic cross created by Matt Baranek of Saddleback Reptiles. And then she's also got some electric and some atomic in her as well. And she is no known het, so this girl is pretty much a clean canvas. You could take her to just about anything and, you know, get different things that you're looking for, right?
This is one impressive gecko. I mean, just look at those saddles. They're just all sorts of different colors. Now, how old is this animal?
This girl right here was actually born on 9/8/23, so she's actually only a few months old.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how those colors and patterns develop as this gecko ages.
Most definitely.
All right, so we've got this guy right here, which is a proven breeder, pure black midnight, for $1,300. Let's check this one out.
So this girl right here produced some of my darkest babies this season, and you know, when it comes to the black knights, the darker they are, the better they are.
Absolutely.
I mean? These guys tend to be a little bit more skittish, and I think a huge part of that has to do with the amount of line breeding that went into getting them this dark. I always tell people they're a little bit on the goofier side when it comes to their mentality.
Well, I like goofy.
Right? I think, you know, that's what makes us special, makes us interesting.
That's absolutely right. So this is a line-bred trait.
It is. So this was created by Ferry Zermond of the Netherlands, and it took him 20 years of line breeding, you know, the darkest leopard geckos to achieve this. So it's not a true melanistic. She doesn't produce hets, and the only way that you can achieve this color is by taking, you know, a pure black knight to another pure black knight, and so on and so forth. So it's very important that you track the lineages, you know, no inbreeding is happening, and you're knowing where these animals are coming from.
We've got time to see one more awesomeness at your table here.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. I'll go ahead and show you guys my personal favorite then from this season. That girl right there is a clown 100% het bell albino, and she's from a project that my buddy Brett at BM Geckos is starting, and it's his clown bell project. And she's got electric and sunfire lineages in her as well.
That is impressive. So when this gecko was born, did he, she, which one is it, she, did she have that red stripe?
So she did, but it wasn't as prominent, right? So where you see the greens and the yellows, that was actually fully lavender, and then that red stripe just kind of started as an orange, and it got rustier and rustier with time to where it got to more of a red tone.
Wow, okay, that is really interesting, because usually, you know, if a baby gecko is born with a stripe, that stripe kind of turns into blotches as they get older.
Right,
this one's doing kind of the opposite.
Exactly, and you know, the goal with this one is actually she's going to get worked into our project that I'm starting, which I'm going to call the Tucson's Finest Super Stripe. And the goal is to have, you know, that top stripe on the side, on the top, and then some vertical stripes going down laterally on their sides.
Wow. So how long have you been working with leopard geckos?
So I've been working with leopard geckos since I was about 10 years old. You know, it started pretty much for me at Petco, right? I saved my allowance, went, picked out my first gecko, and then I fell down the rabbit hole of YouTube and wanted to get into breeding and creating my own morphs and things like that. And like I said, the people that really inspired me were Matt Baronic of Sassabek Reptiles, Brian Barczyk, you know, who's another one? David's Fine Geckos. That's another guy that I used to watch on YouTube a lot.
Yeah, keep going. You'll hit another YouTuber that inspired you.
Dave Kaufman.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I know that guy. Yeah.
Right.
Well, you're doing it right. You have some incredibly impressive geckos here. And for this being your first Pomona Reptile Super Show, are you hitting it out of the park this weekend?
Yeah, man. You know, for me, it's really all about the connections. Like, for example, meeting you and getting to do this interview with you right here, this means the world to me. And honestly, you know, this is what makes my show. It doesn't, don't get me wrong, I love selling animals and you're doing that. But for me, it's about the people and the connections that I get to make here at the shows.
Love it. That's what it's all about.
Definitely, brother. Definitely.
Cool. So this is Lindsay from Goodyear, Arizona. Are there blimps there?
Blimps?
Yeah.
Sometimes they can park the Goodyear blimp there.
See, there you go. There you go. All right, but you are an up-and-coming leopard gecko breeder, and you have some really amazing leopard geckos here that we have got to check out.
All right, so I've known this dude since 2008, and now Dave's a customer.
That's right.
And a friend.
That's right.
And an awesome dude.
That's
And he has this glorious mane of hair. And Dave loves Ship Your Reptiles.
Yes. And with the amount of money that I save on using Ship Your Reptiles, I can afford some really nice shampoo. So for all your reptile shipping needs, visit shipyourreptiles.com or visit the link in the description below. Sorry, they don't sell shampoo. Who do we got over here?
Right here we have a tangerine rainwater Het Murphy patternless. So she is super nice. She's got a nice light yellow pattern to her. She actually just shed this morning. So yesterday she was looking a little bit ashy. So she's nice and bold and bright today. One of the things that I love about her is that full yellow tail. So typically with our rainwaters we see a lot of that yellow, a lot of the white tail. This one has that yellow all the way down. And
yeah,
she
look
just
at that.
gets better with age.
And I love that she is kind of uniform yellow and white. That is like a really aesthetic look to a leopard gecko. All right, and then over here in your other hand,
Yes.
who do we have?
This is going to be one of our blood bells. So I really like the bell, mainly for their eyes as well. I love the really nice pale eyes. It reminds me of a dragon.
Yeah.
This one reminds me of mac and cheese. So we've affectionately nicknamed this one mac and cheese because of that bright orange coloration.
And look at these little color stripes. So that looks like hot dog and mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's mac and cheese. It's, what is it? The Franks and Mac.
Franks and Mac.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what it's called, but
I don't think so.
But it is now.
But it is now.
It is now. All right, so that is an incredible leopard gecko.
Absolutely.
And what is the genetics of this one?
That was a blood bell. So that blood is bringing in a lot of that more brick red color showing through, and that tangerine and that bell shows that nice brown patterning on that tail. I love bell albinos for their eyes.
Absolutely. Look at those eyes.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous.
They are mesmerizing. So what do you have that one priced at?
Right now, that one's going for $300.
300?
We're running a lot of flash sales right now, so if you stop by our booth, I would be willing to do it for $150 today.
But see, you're going the opposite way. Now that we renamed it a really cool name, you could ask
Franks and
$600 for that.
I'm thinking $1,000.
$1,000?
$1,000.
All right.
For Franks and Mac.
You sell that thing for $1,000, we'll split it.
For sure.
Oh yeah? Oh, all right. I expected you to tell me to go jump in a lake somewhere, but yeah, I'll take your $500.
$1,000?
Oh, that is awesome.
We'd love to see it. The only one that I like a little bit more than this one, though, is going to be one of our Mandarin Infernos. He is
Mandarin Inferno. Okay, we got to check this one out.
He's a super hypo, so that he's not going to have a lot of spotting on him. He's going to be nice and bright orange color. Look at that. Check that out under the light.
Wow, that thing glows in the dark.
I know. He's practically neon. He's a super hypo, so he's missing a lot of those spots. Mandarin Inferno, which is where a lot of that orange is coming from. And then that carrot tail, because he's got that nice bright orange tail almost all the way down on this guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so let's rename him the Electric Orange Neon Morph.
There you go.
And charge $1,000.
And charge $1,000.
Yeah.
$1,000 today only.
Awesome. How long have you been doing this?
Well, I've had reptiles since I was about 4 years old. I got my first Leo when I was 4. But we've only been doing breeding and selling leopard geckos for about 4 years now.
For about 4 years.
4 years. So we're a bit new to the game.
Well, you are doing it right.
Well, thank you so much.
And I look forward to seeing you at every Pomona Reptile Expo here with some brand new morphs.
Absolutely.
That we will be splitting profits on.
Frank and Mac, and what was this one? The super high
electric orange. I forgot what we called it already. We need to write this down.
We do need to write it down.
Electric orange awesomeness.
Electric orange awesomeness. $1,000.
$1,000. There we go.
Yep.
So you cannot talk about leopard geckos at an expo without talking to Steve Sykes. It is always a pleasure to see you. In the main video that I shot here, you showed us your 6-legged gecko. We're back here to see some 4-legged geckos.
Okay.
I want to see the 3 best geckos that you have.
All right. Well, we brought lots of great geckos here. We always bring hundreds of geckos. We have worked with so many diverse morphs that it's hard to bring just a limited amount to the show and still have a good selection. But I picked out a couple of geckos here to show you that are just great examples of their morph.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's see them.
All right.
All right. So who are we looking at here?
All right. Well, this is one of our tangerine bloodlines that we work with. This is called an Electric Inferno. We've been working with these for years, and every year we're selectively breeding them to be better and better. And the red and the reddish orange in them just gets more intense with each generation. So we're also working to increase the carrot tail as well, and really just get a super awesome, super intense orange leopard gecko.
Now, the tangerine line is another line bred trait in leopard geckos. And there's a ton of line bred traits in leopard geckos that bring out all of those colors. You don't really see that in a lot of other geckos, a lot of other reptiles. And that's one of the things that makes leopard geckos so awesome, is just those vibrant colors that you see on these guys. So now, we talked a little bit about the carrot tail. That's often confusing for a lot of people that are just getting into leopard geckos. Talk a little bit about that carrot tail and what that means.
Sure. I mean, carrot tail is just refers to the orange in the tail, and it can be just a little small speck of orange, or it can be a completely solid orange tail. So it takes a lot of forms, and just kind of you can selectively breed that trait as well, just to be more intense and more complete throughout the whole tail.
All right, and gecko number 2, who do we have here?
All right, this is a morph that I developed. This is called the Sykes Emerine, and Emerine is a name that Ron Tremper coined. He had a bloodline of emerines that he made, but this was a special derivation. Our emerines are not related to his, so therefore it was necessary for us to call them Sykes Emerines to differentiate them from the Ron Tremper bloodline. But it's a project we worked on for years. We developed it from scratch, just from some really cool geckos.
So tell us a little bit about the emerine gene. Is it dominant, co-dominant, recessive?
It's a selectively bred bloodline. So there's a lot going on in there. You have the orange tangerine color, you have the jungle pattern, you have the carrot tail, you have the emerine, which emerine, when I say that, I'm really referring to its greenish color.
Greenish color, gotcha.
What differentiates this from other tangerine bloodlines. So it's a lot of line bred genes, nothing dominant or recessive about it. It's all just selectively bred over many, many, many generations.
All right, moving on to gecko number 3. How do you like my announcer voice? I kind of got that down pat, don't I?
You do, yes.
I don't know. I never talk like that. I stick a camera in my face. I'm like, all right, here we go. We're going on. Yeah, all right. All right, so we've got number 3. That is amazing.
Yeah, thanks. This is a Bandit. This is a pure Bandit from the original Bandit bloodline that was originally developed by Ron Tremper. We've had this bloodline for a very long time, and we love them, so we will always have Bandits in our collection, and we always want to keep them pure to the original bloodline. Which is, as time goes on, the original old pure bloodlines are getting harder and harder to find.
Sure are.
So this is a Bandit, a bold Bandit is what I would call this, just because it has a bold stripe pattern as well. But the Bandit name, by definition, is referring to the dark band that's right across its nose. That's what makes a good bandit.
So that is just some of the amazing leopard geckos that you can see at a big expo like this one. Guys, this is going to be a brand new feature on this channel. Bonus videos every other Tuesday. Regular uploads will still remain on Saturday. Bonus videos every other Tuesday. So guys, as always, thanks for watching, and until the next reptile adventure, love the planet, feed your reptile obsession, and rattle on.